So there is this Netflix show called Queen Cleopatra. Although I do love history, I'm not too inclined on this area of history. But I do know a few things. I know what is accurate and what is not to a degree. Cleopatra, I believe it is the absolute lowest rated show ever, with an 11% on Rotten Tomatoes and a fucking 1% on popcorn. That is crazy. Now, it's important to note that, in my personal opinion, I believe that if you're going to make a documentary on history, because this series is a documentary, it is absolutely integral to preserve everything. I feel like inclusivity is really important in, modern media, but if you're making something on history, you just have to go by what it was during that time period. There's no inclusivity if you're making something on history. And I'm not saying this in any sort of malevolent or mischievous manner. I'm just saying how I think it is. This is what I was taught, and this is still what I believe. So let's take a note here real quick. Now, Cleopatra was Greek. Greek women or Greek individuals it states that it's a light brown to moderate brown and tans easily. Okay? Now, I looked this up on Google, and this is the first big paragraph to come up. Okay? This has led some, including Egypt's foremost archaeologist Zahi Hawass, to reiterate that Cleopatra, who was born in Alexandria, Egypt in 69 BC into Ptolemaic dynasty, was of Macedonian Greek ancestry. So she would be a light brown because, it's common knowledge that she is Greek. Okay, there's no getting around that. She's Greek. There's no getting around it. This show decided to cast a black woman for some reason. Now, this is not to discredit the actress who played Cleopatra in this documentary, because from what I can see, she's a great actress, but it's just not accurate for the role. There's actually a few creators coming under fire for saying similar things, like Nux Taku, who got accused of being racist by saying this. I could be completely wrong, and he could have said something completely different. Please let me know if I am, but I'm confident that I am correct. Now that we've established this, that when I say this with no malevolent intent, Cleopatra was not a black woman. Simple as that. And I believe there was an interview with one of the main directors for the show where she says something I'll try to find it. She said something along the lines of, it doesn't matter what school tells you, Cleopatra was black.
I remember my grandmother saying to me, I don't care what they tell you in school, Cleopatra was black.
Now, in the nicest way possible, I'm going to reiterate how fucking stupid that is. Have you guys ever heard the story of Miyamoto Musashi? Popularized through the series Vagabond, but there are several other instances of Miyamoto Musashi being put into other forms of media, but he is always consistently Japanese. I'm going to read a little bit about Miyamoto Musashi, just as I did with Cleopatra. Miyamoto Musashi, also known as Shinmen Takezo, Miyamoto Benosuke, or by his Buddhist name, Jiten Doraku. He was a Japanese swordsman, philosopher, strategist, writer, and ronin who became renowned through stories of his unique double-bladed swordsmanship and undefeated record of 61 duels. If you listen to what I said, you want to know what the important thing I said was there? Japanese! Okay? Just keep that in mind, Japanese. Let's say a studio decided to make a documentary on Miyamoto Musashi. Now, I want you to imagine if that studio changed Miyamoto Musashi's heritage from Japanese to fucking Canadian. It wouldn't make sense, right? That's fucking dumb. So I don't understand why the creators of this Queen Cleopatra documentary series decided to change her nationality or change her skin color to black for some reason. Like I said earlier, this is absolutely zero discredit towards the actress, because the actress is very talented from what I can tell. Because there is no reason to cast her if you're gonna go based off historical accuracy. I personally believe that historical accuracy is among some of the most important things ever when making series. Apparently, they've decided to change the tag from documentary to historical fiction, which, I mean, they're only doing this because they're facing so much backlash. The clip I'm about to show you is actually an interview from one of the directors. Like I mentioned earlier, I only managed to dig up the clip just now. But the clip's kind of fucking funny because it's just like Oh, all those historians who wrote things in books and that they teach you in school. Yeah, not a, yeah, they're,
Cleopatra was black.
like I said, changing integral parts of history and like Egyptian and also Greek history is kind of a slap in the face to all those people who live there. Mysteriously, they're getting sued over this because changing history or attempting to change history is not something that's taken lightly, fortunately enough. Also, I'm going to mention that I'm not super historically inclined on Cleopatra and ancient Egypt and shit like that. This is just a general overview of probably one of the only many problems which are pertinent within the show. I'm not even going to attempt to get into it. If I do decide to watch more, I actually will make a follow-up video talking about it, but this video was supposed to be super short and kind of a throwaway because I just kind of wanted to talk about it. Because, you know, I do kind of treat YouTube as kind of a diary of shit I want to talk about, whether it be topics that come to mind that aren't super relevant or pertinent as of recently, like my last video with like the chai stuff, or if it happens to be something more YouTubers have been talking about recently. Well, I would certainly appreciate if you were to leave a like or do any of the 3 mythical things that any YouTuber wants you to do. It doesn't matter to me. It all helps. Anyway, that's all I really wanted to talk about. See ya.